You've got a couple pages in your notebook that are devoted to Gregor Johann Mendel. It's really good to know the history of this because Mendel's kind of known as the father of modern genetics. So I want you to take the time to read through this article and see a little bit about his background, and there's some kind of interesting little tidbits. But I also want to point out a couple of really good vocabulary things in here that I would like you to highlight. The first one comes down here in this what to do next section. One of the big things that we always want to point out with Mendel is that he did work with the common garden pea, and the genus name for that one is Pisum or Pisum, and so have fun with that. Another one that I want to point out to you is that these plants were self-pollinating. And so self-pollinating means that they could actually pollinate themselves, and allowed him to really be able to track the traits of those and know which plants were mating with which. And so another word that comes out of here that I want you guys to focus on is the word hybrid. Sometimes we refer to this as our heterozygous, where we're mixing two different traits like tall and short, and the offspring of those would be considered our hybrid. And so one of the words that he came up with, he explained and conceived the concept of heredity units, now called genes. And so heredity units were, kind of the horrible term that they used to use, but now we do refer to those as genes, and they are often expressed as dominant or recessive. And so one of the nice things we do here on this one is if you go on to that second page, we have a real simple definition of dominant is a trait that shows up in the offspring, and recessive, which is a trait that is masked. And so I want to make sure you guys highlight those words in there, but also take the time to read this. If we have time, we will be discussing these questions down at the bottom, because we kind of, we know these concepts, but we don't really get into a whole lot of how we actually learn these concepts and the people behind them, and realize the fact that they were actual human beings with their own strengths and their own weaknesses. And so this article does a good job of pointing that out. So please take the time to read it and make sure you highlight those terms and any other information you find relevant and interesting. Thank you.